Yes, it's progressing. It's been very good since the World Cup and progressing. Nations League was very good. Beat two earlier rounds, two very big teams, Spain and Croatia. Two good results so far. And it's been a tremendous journey in this fairly short time under Gareth Southgate and his staff. It's quite clear that the management of a national side is absolutely vitally important, like any management, and we certainly had good management in our time in '66. So, and the players are talking. You can see the relationship. You can see the players talking about how they feel about playing for England. It's quite clear there's a very good sense of teamwork and camaraderie going on, which in many respects has been a key issue at our time and is still a key issue today. The question, I'm not sure you would necessarily term the word backwards in the difference between then and now. Certainly there is a huge difference in that in our time you had to probably come through the club system and play maybe for 2-3 years, maybe longer, as I did, before you get recognised for the national team. I was probably 3 years. I'm a good example of scoring goals and playing for a club that was successful, West Ham, winning the Cup, the Cup Winners' Cup, scoring goals regularly since '63. Yeah, I didn't get picked for England probably for 3 years. Today, of course, we are picking players for England that haven't actually hardly, if at all, kicked a ball for the national team. And I think he's having to do that because the huge difference again is the amount of foreigners playing in this country, 60-70%. So you've got less of a pool of players to pick from. So he's having to do that, but having to do it and showing that he can do it and be successful, playing this unusual way or bringing forward these young players unusually that hardly kicked a ball at what we call the next development stage, playing in the Premier League on a regular basis. So that's completely different, but proving successful, and that's in many respects quite a remarkable achievement. Well, I don't necessarily think you're reliant on him to an extent, but no team as a team, and I mention the word team again, team are doing well as a team, and if you've got a good team and a good squad, then when a key player like Harry is injured, then you expect people to turn up and stand up and still get good results, which we have done on the odd occasion without him. So I don't think we're necessarily reliant on him, but naturally you do need, ultimately, to be successful, to have your key players in key positions like forward players, the goal scorers, being fit and playing well. Yes, I think from a player that's played in the medieval times, as I call them, VAR is obviously quite different, quite strange. I don't think it's quite has run as smoothly. There's still some little loose ends to tie up. I think the goal line technology, I absolutely categorically agree with. That needed to be done. It doesn't spoil the game. It's very quick, and you make that decision whether goal's in or out. That was a key thing. You don't want the game stopped. I'm being told even this morning that there's 6 stoppages during games now to discuss whether the ball is in, or it's a goal, or it's a foul, or it's a handball. There have been a couple of incidents recently in a couple of the key games where the handball was given. I think it's one of the Liverpool Spurs Champions League final, where the handball with the first penalty of Liverpool. You look at that 9 times out of 10 and you say that was an accident, you wouldn't give it. VAR gives these sort of things. So there's an area of disagreement on what genuinely as a fair sporting person thinks is a handball in a penalty area, and something in a camera and a sporting science looks at it and say that now is a penalty. And I'm pleased in that particular final that goal wasn't the only one, because I think I'd hate to be a part of a Spurs team, a fantastic Spurs team, that get beat by that kind of decision. And luckily the second goal went in, which made it 2. So I'm not totally comfortable with it. But of course you're talking to somebody that hasn't grown up with technology. It's part and parcel of our lives, and it's part and parcel of football. But as a guy that played in medieval times, I'm not sure whether it's as successful at the moment with what's going on as we'd want it to be. It's worth persisting with it and seeing they can iron all the wrinkles to make it a more smooth running process, not so many stops, thinking, well, is it too much, too in depth to go too far, and still look at it and analyse it to see whether it's. But if that's the way they want to go, the governing bodies, the people who run world football and technology, then we may have to accept that's going to be part of life. But the younger people grow up with technology. look at young people with mobile phones. My family, children, grandchildren. I've got a 2-year-old granddaughter that is looking and flicking through, a mobile phone. It's a huge part of our lives, and we've all got to accept that in all walks of life, and that includes obviously a major thing like our sport, wonderful sport, football.